Have you ever wondered if the Tri-Titan could defeat the real-world army? How would he fare against modern weaponry, fighter jets, bombs, tanks, or even nukes? Well, to answer that, I split the army's power into 5 different levels. With each new level, the armies would get a huge increase in power because, let's be honest, the Tri-Titan would be a really difficult case to handle. But first, let's see how many levels he could pass. And at the end of the video, we will see what would happen if the army went all out using the strongest weapons they've got in their arsenal. So, in the first level, the Tri-Titan would face off against a group of armed soldiers with modern weapons and armor. Considering the fact that all Titans are very durable due to the mechanisms used to create them being quite tough, the Tri-Titan would take 0 damage from basic guns. However, rockets would be quite different, as there would be many soldiers launching from different angles. But we all know the Tri-Titan casually walks right through this like it's nothing. Not only that, they would also send in tanks, choppers, and fighter jets. But would this be enough to bring down the Tri-Titan? Not even close, as his insane durability alone places him high above that level of damage. So yeah, his durability would do the trick. However, when he tries to retaliate, things might get a bit rough. Using his Tri-drones, the helicopters and fighter jets would be taken care of easily, just like we've seen in the series. Since he's extremely larger than them, a basic blast from the Titan would cause serious damage, and with a single shot, he would clear the soldiers and tanks. Well, that went too easy for the Titan. Realizing that the threat is much stronger than expected, the army would add a second wanted level to the Tri-Titan, which means they would use biotechnology for extra attacks. The other weaponry and technology would also be used in a much more advanced way, meaning some jets would be able to shoot acids and the operation would be on a very large scale. So yeah, the Tri-Titan would be in for a treat. Although the Tri-Titan's durability might just be able to hold up, it would only be a matter of time before it gets weakened, as the jets could continuously drop missiles or acids on him. Despite his size, it would be hard to track the aircraft's movements, as they could also fly much higher than his height, because it seems they could go as high as about 50,000 feet, which is well above the Tri-Titan's reach, unless he decides to fly. However, his Tri-drones would be there to do the trick. Although we don't actually know how high these drones could go, let's just say they'd be able to reach. If they do, it's pretty much over. The Tri-Titan takes out the multiple tanks and suffers little damage. With this, our Titan managed to get past level 2. But remember, this is only a very small chunk of the army's full strength. But what would happen next? Well, this level is a bit different from the others. Instead of using new weapons, the army would gain knowledge of the specific Titan they are fighting. Just imagine the army getting a list of weaknesses on the Tri-Titan and trying to exploit them. They'd have to watch the Skibidi Wars series and perform their own analysis. Yeah, good luck with that. Anyways, going through the Tri-Titan's file, the army would face a little problem. Even after performing an analysis themselves, they'd find nothing. I mean, this guy hasn't been defeated once since he fully transformed, and honestly, I don't see any weaknesses either. So their best bet would be to fight fire with fire. Theoretically, they could sacrifice some scientists to get samples from the Tri, and yeah, with their amazing brains they would cook, and we'd get to see a clone version of the Titan, or rather battle robots. Feeling really proud of themselves, they'd send them to battle instantly. Now things begin to get interesting, as the Tri-Titan would have to face off against 2 versions of himself. Similarly, in previous episodes, the Tri-Titan was shown to destroy 2 Triadians simultaneously, but that was in his fully awakened state. However, since this is only his cosmic form, he might face some difficulties. Plus, adding the jets and tanks launching from different angles, they might actually do something. The Tri-Titan suffers much damage this time and is forced to go all out, which means we finally get to see, well, rising from the smoke is the Gravity King himself. And yeah, the armies are cooked at this point. The Tri-clones effortlessly get damaged immensely, and the tanks are sent flying. The Tri-Titan is still able to clear this level, but he does it with high difficulty. Before we cover what would happen if the army went all out, using all the strongest weapons they've got in their arsenal, let's first see if the Tri-Titan could clear the 4th level. At this point, the army would use everything at their disposal, not caring at all about collateral damage. I mean, they could even use a nuclear bomb, which, not gonna lie, isn't to be joked with. The Tri-Titan wouldn't be having a good day at this point. The army would try to experiment with a single nuke, with the nuke having enough power that it could cause massive destruction, and after doing some research, it seems it could affect up to a distance of 15 kilometers from ground zero, which is capped at a small city. But that's only a highball. However, even if the nukes detonate, the Tri-Titan wouldn't suffer any significant damage, but his defense would be greatly weakened. Even when he got shot by the Allied orbital cannon, he casually withstood it and wouldn't face any problems fighting against anything else the army throws at him. Feeling really pissed, the army would go back and prepare for the final level, the ultimate attack. In this level, the army would consider him a planetary level threat and would get some help from friends. This time, not only would the Tri-clones be technologically advanced and upgraded, but the rest of the military would also get buffed as well, adding multiple nukes to the mix. The army would launch a full-scale operation, and this time the troops and jets would have enough damage potential. However, the Tri-Titan clears each of them easily, destroying most of the jets and military with his gravity powers. But as the army decides to drop multiple nukes, it's game over. I mean, he wouldn't even sense the danger. And I don't see him surviving most of these. Add in the fact that he's been extremely weakened due to the prolonged fight against his opponent. So yeah, despite how strong and broken the Tri-Titan really is, he would still lose against our army. However, check out this video to see what happens if the Camera Titan fought against the strongest Titans of the fandom.